All right, what's going on, friends? In this video, I'm going to show you how I made these raised beds out of just some pallets that I've acquired over the years. Maybe you could go to some of your home improvement stores or maybe a Walmart or somewhere and just see if they will let you have a couple pallets. I found mine at my local hardware store today for this one. And these pallets here came from all the pellets that I buy to heat my house. All right, let me take you in my garage and show you how I made these raised beds. I'll show you some of the stuff I'm going to use. And if you've seen in the beginning of this, I already had 2 of these built and they came out so nice. I think it was a really nice, easy way to make a raised bed that I thought I would show you guys. So now I'm not going to worry too much. Some people are going to worry about what kind of wood that some of your pallets have. I'm not worried too much about that because I'm going to line it with my 6mm plastic that I bought. I'll put some of this stuff down in the description, but you can probably really just go to a Lowe's or go to a home improvement store and buy this plastic, maybe even some of the garden centers. And you can put weed mat in the bottom, but I really don't think you need that. My wife just seems to like to have the weed mat in the bottom. I don't know how weeds are going to grow through like this much soil, but if you don't want to put weed mat, you could also maybe just put some newspaper in the bottom if you want. That's about it. And I'm going to probably end up using a hammer, and I'm going to have to use a pry bar, and I'm using some 3-inch screws and something to cut it apart. Sawzall, and need a tape measure. And how I built mine, I have the pallets I got. It's nice to have a pallet that has like 7 boards. There's 3 here, 1 in the middle, and 3 there. Because that'll be a side, this will be a side, and we got to try to take these other boards off. They're going to be used to put over the top edge. And the ones out there were like about 19 inches, which is about, so you don't have to make them exactly 19 inches. But see, up to this, I'm going to count 1, 2, 3 boards, and that ends up being really close to 19 inches. Yeah, see that this 3rd board up is 20 inches, so it's going to be a little bigger. So if you would want to make it, I could probably make this 20 inches if I want. That way I don't have to rip this one down. But I have, this is going to be 2 sides, and then this one here will also be 2 sides. So you're going to probably want to do the same thing. 19 inches. See, 19 inches would work on this one. It just happens that one's a little goofed up. So now you could either try to take it off and move it or rip it down, or you could just make it a little bigger, whatever you want. I think I'm going to try to make them 19 inches because that's what my other 2 I have out in my yard are. So they'll all match. Not that anybody'd probably ever notice, but because ripping these boards off, that's probably the hardest part here, is trying to rip these off and not really trash them. I'll try to show you what I do to rip them off. If you got a better way to take these boards off these pallets, let me know. All right, I'm going with the 19 inches like I said. I am going to use a speed square. You really don't have to use that, but I like everything to look straight, so I think I'm going to make it 19 and a half. It'll be a little easier. That board's still in my way though. 19 and a half. Measure up from there. 19 and a half. Do these all at the same time. Speed it up. 19 and a half, 19 and a half. Draw some lines. All right, I think I lied to you. I think I used my circular saw when I first did this, but a sawzall would work. All right, I got to rip down this little piece first. You got to do that. Might be easier to rip this down before you start cutting it. I got somewhere to put my saw. There. I still have to measure this center one, which I can see where I cut that one. I'm going to cut that there. It needs to be 19 and a half right here. Draw a line there. There. There's a couple of my boards that I'm going to use out of this piece. This will be one side, that'll be one side. Let me cut my other pallet and I'll get to showing you how I build it. When you're cutting the center board, it's kind of nice maybe to prop the one end up. Now I got to try to get these 4 boards off of here. Which this one here is kind of broke. So I might have to try to find another board to replace that one. So when you get your pallets, try to get some with nicer boards. I mean, I could definitely still make some raised beds with just that. With just these ones I cut up. I don't even need these, but I want these for my top cap piece. Definitely makes it look nicer. So let me try to get what I can get off of here. Sometimes I take my Sawzall with the metal cutting blade and I will cut right through them nails. So I'm going to try that with some of them. A little gap on that one so I can definitely get down in there and cut them. It's definitely the best way to not have to worry about ruining the board. That's kind of how I do it so I don't totally trash the boards. And then you can take a little nail punch and punch these nails out. If you don't have a nail punch, you could maybe even just use an old nail or something to punch these out. You don't want to let them in your yard, or don't let them in your garage either. So some of this you might want to do somewhere besides in your yard. There's one good board. Now I want to make sure, once you get all your boards done, I'll show you what I'm going to do with all these boards. And you don't have to watch me do them all. Once you get your boards off, then either your board is going to be ready, or like these, to me I think they're a little too wide. So I'm going to rip these down because I want these to cover the top of this. And they're a little bit wider than the top. Like my other ones I did out there, I didn't have to do this. I think they're actually a little smaller. So I couldn't. I mean, unless you want to let them wider, maybe it looks nice wide like that. Let me get these other 4 done, and then I will put it together. Here, I might as well show you this trick too while I'm at it. If you get your Sawzall blade and it ends up looking like this, can you see it? It's all not straight. You take your hammer with your claws, you hook that on there, and you just bend it straight. There. That's a lot better. It also might not be a bad idea to have hearing protection and eye protection on. And maybe some gloves if you have really like girly hands, or you never do this. I like to put a splinter in my hand once in a while. That's just how I do things. I forgot a couple things that you might need. You're going to need probably a staple gun. There's maybe other ways to do this, but a staple gun's the easiest. And I am going to use some like maybe 1 3/4 screws, maybe some 2-inch screws would probably also work. And probably a drill to drill in your screws. So let's get this put together. Now I'm putting these 3 boards on the inside, and the 1 board is going to go on the top on the outside. Yeah, see, this is where I could have help. I'm going to use 1 3/4 screws on this because this wood's so much thinner. I don't think I use those 3-inch screws. I think these 1 3/4 or 2-inch screws would work for the whole thing. If you guys have a Kohl's near you, I buy these screws at Kohl's. I really like these screws. And I'm just going to put one all the way at the bottom. Kind of make sure this is kind of lined up. Not a real huge big deal, but. And put one in the middle. All right, let me finish screwing these up and we'll move to the next step.
If you like how these are turning out, give this video a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button to help support my channel. Check out the rest of my channel. I have a lot of videos on pools, my Harman pellet stove, my camper, my John Deere lawnmower. I have a Husqvarna lawnmower videos. I have Cub Cadet videos.
And I do have t-shirts down below my videos, just like this one. All right, now since my wife wants some weed mat down the bottom, I'm gonna put some of that down. Or you can put, like I said, maybe a layer of newspaper, or really just nothing. I really don't think you need anything, but. Now I gotta cut some plastic, and I ended up making mine about 2 foot. It's a little bit bigger than, taller than my sides. The nice thing with my plastic, I can just roll this out, measure 2 foot. I don't know if your plastic will be the same way, and I can cut it. And it cuts it all the way through. If I can find this exact same kind of plastic, I'll put that down in the description. And I'll label it that way. Because if I find something different, I don't know if you'll be able to do that. See, I cut that 2 foot, and then I can just pull this out. Makes it real easy to cut. So let me put that inside my planter. This is what's going to keep all my dirt in. I don't know if it matters, but I kind of like to start my plastic right in the center of one of the pallets here. And I like to take this top edge and roll it over a little bit, like that. And then staple it down. All right, just trim these corners. Roll that edge over, staple it down. And I put a couple down at the bottom just to keep it tight. I don't know if it really matters. Sometimes it's hard to staple into that. Now I have one little spot left here, so you might have to cut another piece. I so happen to have a piece left from my last one. I'm going to cut some off. I still might build one more of these if I find a couple more pallets, so I'll cut this piece in half. I can cover this spot up. Now I just lay my top boards on here. It kind of dresses it up. Covers up all that plastic that you folded over. And I had to take one and rip one down. So it's gonna have to work. That turned out beautiful. Oh, really? My battery's dead. Son of a gun. Hang on. I'm gonna try this again. Be careful screwing these down real tight, because you'll split your wood unless you go get a drill and drill them all out. If your holes line up where you pulled your nails out, just screw down in there. I ended up getting a drill anyway because I forgot I had these ones I ripped, and it's really gonna split them. So I gotta drill these out. All right, last thing I'm gonna do, except for filling this up with some topsoil, is I'll just sand off some of these edges. A piece of sandpaper. And I would recommend maybe getting a little bit of mushroom soil and just some regular soil, mix it up, put it in your raised bed, and plant some plants in there. I don't know what you want to plant in there, tomato plants. I think my wife has some carrots in the one. If you made it this far, I want to show you another thing too. Now, when I'm weed whacking, I want to be careful because my weed whacking string can go right under this one. So just be careful when you're weed whacking. I might do like I'll show you over here on this other one what I did do. My other ones are all the way down to the ground. So if you have a board here, you could take that board off, because on my other ones, that's what I had to do, take that board off. But let me show you over here. See, on this one, the board was really high, so I just took a scrap piece of 2x4 and I put it on there. So that way I'm able to weed whack that and not get into the plastic. Not like it's really probably gonna go anywhere, but it just made it so I don't have to worry about it. And my other one is all the way to the ground. See, this one doesn't look really as nice because my boards they just weren't as wide. And she's got something in here growing. I don't know what it is, but. All right, well, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. That really helps me out here on YouTube, and leaving me a comment down below also helps me out a lot. So leave me a comment, hit that subscribe button, like I said, to help support my channel. God bless and have a great day.